Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today on this Monday for a very special episode. There was a recent occurrence where a young lady by the name of Sky Amananpurna in the Navajo Nation went viral for a dance that she did in her community, praying for health amongst her community during the COVID-19 crisis. This video comes at a time where the Navajo Nation is developing resilience to this pandemic, and also there are some exciting developments in terms of getting the community more access to clean drinking water. But I want to go ahead and give you a chance to look at this video, and we're going to share it with you right now.
Hi guys, my name is Sky Yanavapula. Today I wanted to do a dance for the people who are sick from the coronavirus and who are scared and anxious and need healing. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find comfort in my dance. Remember to be kind to one another, pray for one another, be safe, and wash your hands.
So folks, before we're going to talk about that video really quick here, but before we get to there, I want to go ahead and reintroduce our guest for today. Her name is Mary Conley Eggert. You know her as the founder and executive director of GlobalWaterWorks, which is an online community that connects those in search of solutions with the experts and organizations and technologies that make water work. Mary has joined us today to highlight the innovative work that is already underway to improve Navajo's nation's residents' access to clean drinking water. And she shares how Global WaterWorks is supporting the creation and deployment of these water resilience solutions in an effort to improve the health and safety of Navajo residents. So joining us once again from Chicago, Illinois, here is Mary Eggert. Mary, welcome back to Simpatico. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Mike. But every time I see that video, I get a little emotional because it's such a wonderful thing to have the heart of our youth so concerned about our climate and praying like that.
I did. I did cry myself after I watched it this morning, so please don't make me cry again. But yes, I watched this video this morning, reviewing it, and I was not expecting to have. I wasn't expecting to have such an emotional response to it. Not that what is occurring in the Navajo Nation isn't absolutely trying and tragic, but just watching the resilience of the Navajo and just their spirited nature. Really, it really makes your heart sing, and it does bring a tear to your eye. And the fact that they have been so resilient in the face of what I would characterize as a very large lack of support from our government. They are doing an incredible job. But they are a community that has 50% of their households don't have access to clean running water. And so, Mary, you're here to talk to us about what you're doing to connect organizations together that are helping the Navajo residents get clean drinking water. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, Mike, as we talked, it was such a privilege to be part of a session a few weeks ago with you all. And you said, what's the urgent or timely thing going on your calendar? And it's Global Hand Washing Day, which comes around once a year, but it's October 15th this year. And we knew that the Navajo have been particularly challenged with COVID-19. It's all about hygiene and keeping your hands washed and having access to water for health, as well as Sky said. And what's neat that's going on is that innovators and educators and organizations have been contributing a great amount of knowledge and best practices, as well as technology innovation, including bringing water from the air. And 15 homes now in the Navajo Nation have this atmospheric water generating pure water from the air for drinking purposes.
And can you tell us what are some of the organizations that you're working to connect together to make this happen?
Yeah, and Micah, it's clear we are connectors, and so we're celebrating the successes of those who are working, including the IAPMO, the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officers, who run the I Wish Foundation. They've been working with a group called Dig Deep, who is supporting places throughout our nation who do not have access to water today, and then we have many different universities who've been navigating, including one you introduced us to, the Northern Arizona University, the Institute for Tribal Environmental Professionals, and also Arizona's Water Resources Research Center, which is an amazing group. So, and finally, I was surprised to learn about Illinois has a group. If you go to wateroperator.org, you can find the details on Illinois' state water survey at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and they do run the wateroperator.org site. And finally, the US Bureau of Reclamation has some very cool demonstration facilities right in Alamogordo, New Mexico. So they're very close by.
And can you tell us a bit more about the aqua meteorology systems that are getting clean drinking water to these homes? Can you tell us a bit more about that technology?
Yeah, there are actually a number of technologies, Mike. I'm glad you brought that up. And if you go to the Global WaterWorks community, you can find them in a tech showcase where we link directly to all of their companies, but Aquametrology Systems is doing a testing service and able to address arsenic and high levels of contaminants, and also produces real-time quotes on what's going on in any watershed, which is sort of fascinating. We're that up to the minute today with technology. And then Water Fleet, a very interesting semi-truck size portable utility, can bring the full capabilities of any any water or wastewater treatment facility right to any location. They've been active around the hurricanes, around the fires, providing a resilient water treatment source when another source is compromised or when wells are contaminated and need to be treated. And some of the wells have gone bad because they do not have a local treatment capabilities or because of pollutants in our environment. And then Source, a group called Zero Mass Water, is the one that's getting the water from the air in the desert. It's a very innovative new technology just in the last few years that uses what are called hydro panels to operate completely off grid with solar power and deliver enough drinking water for the home as an independent source. And that's why they're called Source, I guess. So very cool.
Great. And I just wanted to highlight that some of these organizations that you've mentioned here on the show have videos and interactive training on water quality assessments, well management, septic maintenance, and atmospheric water production, correct?
Oh, it's amazing, the resources that have been put together. And I was surprised to actually discover many of them were just produced in the last few months. So they're also very current. And there's a rural community assistance program funded by our government that does support the education and training of these small system providers. And it's a really neat opportunity. The end goal is that we would both create jobs and having people learn how to operate some of these things as well as bring health.
And also, I just want to, before we get any further here, I just want to acknowledge for those of you watching, today is Indigenous Peoples Day. Indigenous Peoples Day. And I just want to say, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I encourage you, if you're someone who, if you're not aware of the land that you live on and the origin of who was there before you, you can find land acknowledgement resources to look up which Indigenous peoples originally were on the land that you're on, and I encourage you to acknowledge it. I am broadcasting from Ramaytush Ohlone land here in San Francisco County, but I'm just gonna, Mary, our time has just blown right by, but I'm going to go ahead and look here in the chat room to see if we have any live questions. I know it was kind of a last minute notice, so there may not be as many questions today as we normally have, but just give me just 1 second to look in here. A question I had for you, Mary, while we're sitting here is, what are some of your goals that you have with the Navajo Nation? What do you hope to achieve with them in the years ahead?
Yeah, well, thanks, Mike. They provide one example that's very similar to other communities around the world. And our whole goal for GlobalWaterWorks is that everyone who needs a glass of water has one, and has one that's clean and nourishing and free of contaminants. And so we'll meet our objectives if everyone does have that water, but also if we're able to clean and treat existing water sources so that they're available. And then if we provide resilient solutions that last and support the health and the economies of local communities, because no water means no jobs, no work, or no production of other activities. And finally, just the deployment of these resources creates jobs and opportunities for others. So that's our goal.
Absolutely. If you're joining us late in the conversation, I will make sure to link the YouTube video to Sky Amananpurna dancing. I encourage you folks to check it out and bring some tissues because you will probably need them. But Mary, it has been a pleasure to have you back on. We have reached the end of our time here, but we're really excited to work with you and partner with GlobalWaterWorks and have you back on to share any new exciting developments and the work that you guys are doing. We want to support it.
Yeah, well, you have, Mike, and just a real pleasure to be here again. Thanks for your salute to the Indigenous peoples. We also salute.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary. You may sign out of the Zoom call whenever you want.